Good morning from Houston, Texas. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. We have some updates for you, but in the meantime, please let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to, let's see if I can find the link in case you want to join the broadcast. Let's see, invite, okay, copy. There we go. Let me know where y'all watching from. And if you'd like to join the broadcast, the link should show up very soon. Hi, Elena. Nice to see you from New York City. And see you on March 30th. Oh yeah, today is March 30th. So by the way, that reminds me. Hi, Wassam. Hi, Kofi. That reminds me tomorrow is supposed to be the expiration of a couple of the proclamations, especially the travel ban because of COVID. I know many countries are blocked because of this proclamation that was started by President Trump and then extended by President Biden. So we will be staying tuned with the press secretary of, I think her name is Jen Pulaski. So we'll be following her to see if there's any updates about the proclamation. We'll also be checking the State Department website, travel.state.gov. So let me see if we can add this link here. By the way, we do have a live video coming up at 5:30 Central Time. It's going to be talking about the steps after a fiancé visa approval because there's a lot to do. And I know because many people have been waiting so long for the fiancé visa, and you might forget that there's a lot to do after the visa approval. So you can definitely please stay tuned and watch that at 5:30 Central Time. Also, we do offer, I've been mentioning this the last couple of weeks, we do offer free 15 minutes for you, my friends. Since you're a YouTube subscriber and follow us on Facebook page, we greatly appreciate it. So you get free 15 minutes for first time calling in. So you can either call that number down below on the screen or text it. I know sometimes you may be at work, so you can't call in, but you can text that. And the other way is if you do have time and you're probably at home, for example, or if you are at home, fill out the intake form down below, Ting Law. It starts with that URL, and our cares team will call you the following business day. So thank you for watching. Let's see, I got a couple questions here. Okay, I'll post that. Wassam, nice to see you again, sir. I'd like to ask if they solve problems on the border, will they pass immigration reform? Is that, I guess you're saying likely, ideal. So this happens all the time. When President Obama was president, even when President Trump was president to start the year, there's always some kind of surge, I guess you can say. There's always more people coming. But that's not the only reason. I'm sure you've heard that there's hurricanes and natural disasters in some of the Central American countries late last year. So that has caused some of the migration. And of course, because of the gang violence. And keep in mind, gang violence, many lawyers, including myself, we trust that the person coming to America is telling the truth. For the most part, because personally, I would not want to be in that situation where I'm having to flee my birth country to another country, crossing through several countries. And so I definitely feel for these folks. But it's always, of course, very important that they have legal representation, whether through a private lawyer or a nonprofit agency. It's very important because then lawyers can help explain the process and help the person, the client, explain their story to the judge and the government lawyer. And but to your question, Wassam, I'm sorry I had to go on that tangent, but to your question, I think what you're trying to say is that going to affect the negotiations for reform for immigration reform. It certainly has already, but it's also part of the Republicans' rhetoric that there always needs to be some kind of border security. That really started by the Republicans around when George W. Bush was president back in year 2000. There was a lot of lobbyist groups, like separate militia groups in Texas that promoted this concept of border security before, because even George W. Bush as a Republican and his father in the 1990, they both were pro-immigration, actually. So, I mean, George W. Bush was governor of Texas at one point for several years. So, this whole new rhetoric about border security is pretty ridiculous. I mean, it's not new. It's been going on for 20 years. It's pretty ridiculous. So it will certainly hurt the negotiation, I think. But I'm sure Democrats are trying to find ways to, and again, this is why I predicted if there is any kind of passing of a law for immigration benefits, at the earliest, I think it would be end of summer. Right now, it's almost April 1st. Today's March 30th. So, I do believe the numbers, the surge will slow down. And people usually, from what I understand from people calling our office, people tend to travel through many countries in the springtime. So, because it's feasible with this weather and not the summer, right? It's going to be too hot. So hopefully that answers your question, Wissam. That's what I predict is late summer. Kofi, nice to see you from San Diego. Oh yeah, Wissam, you're in San Diego as well. Hope the weather's good out there. Enjoy it. Love Preet. Okay, well, before I get to Love Preet's question, I was trying to share the link to join the broadcast if you wanted to. Sometimes I remember to add it and sometimes I don't remember. Okay, well, as that is, okay, I went the wrong way. Okay, well, let's get to Love Preet's question. You have I-360 Vawa pending since November 2019. You received a prima facie twice. Is it good? Well, to answer that question first, it's the very beginning. Prima facie just really means that based on your evidence, you do seem to appear eligible to continue the process. It does not mean approval. So, but it is good in general to have this determination, this letter from USCIS. So that's good. It does mean it's moving in a positive direction for you, because I have heard of other people that do not receive that at all. Okay, can they ask for RFE after 17 months? Processing is 2 years. Let you know. Yes, they can. They can ask RFE at any point during the case. I've heard of people receiving RFE even for a marriage-based case. They have, it's been almost at least a year, and then they ask for RFE. We've had our RFE requests for like a medical exam, medical results. So it may not necessarily be about the facts of your case, but maybe they need, if you're applying for adjustment as well, but maybe like a medical exam. But yeah, they can ask at any time. Let's see here. And even though processing and that you say is 2 years, so 24 months, and you're at 17, it does not necessarily mean that you're going to get a decision in 24 months. So keep that in mind. We do file lawsuits for cases that have been pending much longer than the processing time on the schedule on the USCIS website. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea. Okay, let's get to, hopefully I answer that. Tuma, nice to see you. I think you're in I forgot where you're at. You mentioned to me, I think Brooklyn maybe. Your question is, your husband is at the refugee camps in Kenya, and there have been issues at the camps, even threats to closing the refugee camp. Okay, and I think you have maybe followed up with your question. Well, in general, I don't know if is that a good reason to expedite? I could take a look at that for you to see. I'm not sure if you fill out the intake form down below, but that's the best way for our team to remember to follow up with you and check that out. But our intent is always to help people out, right? Provide some information that you don't necessarily need a lawyer for. Just guide you to the next point. So please fill out the intake form. If you did already, please let me know in the comments, and I'll ask my team to follow up with you. Okay, Raul. And Tuma, I'm sorry that your husband's going through that situation. I know it's tough in certain countries with the violence, and I've been hearing about that in Myanmar and several of the African countries. Okay, Raul, what do I think about TPS for Central American countries? Will it be reinstated? Well, several of them have been reinstated, or maybe not necessarily reinstated, but there has been what we call a legal word is like there's a stay meaning whatever the decision was, it's being held off. So like, for example, Trump tried to he tried to remove or end the TPS for certain countries, and that's been stayed. That decision by the White House under Trump been blocked basically. So let's see here. But Raul, if you need the website uscs.gov, it actually for TPS, I just looked at it the other day. It does mention specifically about that. I'll try to reach that website in a second for you. Just let me know in the comments which country you have TPS for, because they're all different situation right now. Okay, so let's see. I was going to post. Okay, here we go. Finally. All right, if you'd like to join, I just put in the chat here. Click here if you want to join. Sometimes it's easier when I have more questions. Oh, what the heck? All right. So, Honduras. Okay, so let me check that out. Let me check that out, because on the first page of the on the homepage for TPS, it does mention some of the lawsuits. Okay, it mentions Haiti. I think you said Honduras, right? Okay, Honduras. Okay, the termination for TPS for people from Nepal and Honduras will not go into effect until further notice. So that's a great thing. That's good news. And as required by the court. Okay, I see San is up there. I'll get to you in a second, sir. USCIS will extend appropriate TPS-related documentation, like the I-94 for eligible persons from those two countries to Honduras and TPS. So yes, the best, right now you're good to go in terms of that for Honduras. Okay, hopefully that helps. And I will get to the rest of the questions on the chat, but so I hope that helps, Raul. Let's get to Wassam.
What's up?
Wassam,
how are you, John?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again. John, I always think about to hire you, but the problem is I have an attorney, but my attorney, I don't feel with her very well. So if I give up with her, then I will fill that intake form for sure, and I will be with you.
Okay, no worries. I remember you telling me that, if we're happy to do like a full consultation with you if you schedule, so I can have a better idea. And I normally, this is just like information on YouTube, but if you have a lawyer, I tend to be careful, right? I want to know what happens in the past, what happened, so that I can figure out if there's a way I can help. Because sometimes it's like, I don't know your situation with the lawyer, but it sounded like maybe not getting along, or they're not responding to you.
It's just she just like I can't understand her, to be honest with you. I can't understand her very well, to be honest.
Yeah, and some lawyers, they don't explain the law, the process very well. So if that's what you're talking about,
yeah, especially when my mom, she got her green card and she filed here and she adjusted here and she told me you have to go back to your country and do it in your in your country.
For your mom?
That's why I'm so confused.
That's for your mom?
Yeah, my mom, she was able to adjust status here from her mom while she was in asylum. She transferred her case to the I-130 and she adjusted status here in the United States instead of going back to her country and come back.
Okay,
But she want
well,
me and my sister to go back to my country and come back, and
I
that's
see.
risky.
Yeah, so in general, this is a great point. Thanks for mentioning that. So for anyone watching and you're wondering if you can adjust status, meaning get the resident status, the green card in America, there's very limited situations. Number one, that is if you enter with a visa already, it can be any kind of visa except J1. If in the passport J1 it has like a 2 years, you have to go back to your country, then that's the only other. But you can apply for waiver. The other way is if exception is if you are, Violence Against Women Act, Vawa. Although it says women, that doesn't mean abuse only has to happen to women. I've had cases it was against male people as well, and so there are other options. So, Wassam, do you remember if your mom entered with visa or not?
John, we don't have a visa. We weren't having visa, to be honest with you, when we came
Yeah,
to United States. I was young, so I wasn't know if I have a visa or not, to be honest. We just
sure.
entered without a visa, you
Okay.
know. But we seek asylum in the airport. So when we get detained, then they got us a parole. 212 DF, section 21212 DF. So that parole I was renewed every each year, John. Okay,
Right.
until Trump came as a president, I want to renew it again. They took it away from me. My mom, she was able to adjust status here. Why? Because her I-94 wasn't expired on that time.
Hmm. Have you tried again now that it's Biden?
Well, that's why I asked you, John, if there's a possible that the parole is gonna come back again under 212 DF section, so I can at least stay here without the immigration reform. I don't need the immigration reform. My current is gonna be current soon, because my asylum case is administrative closure, John. So that's why I want to file with I-130. I don't want to go with asylum. So
I
if
see.
I,
Okay, you have
I
a
don't want
second
to go back to
option,
my country. This is
but
my really
okay.
it's freak me out all the
Right,
time.
right. So your mom does not have the green card, not yet, right? She's
No, she
still
have the green card. She filed for me. I waited 4 years. It get approved, and I'm under category F2B.
okay.
Yes.
Uh, okay. Well, okay, yeah, the pro would help you in this situation because it could show some kind of legal entry, inspected and admitted. So let's see here.
Right. Like, John, if you can make sure if 212 DF, this section is so important. Because I heard Biden, he
Hmm.
want to restore the children minor of Central American. This is the section 212 DF that Trump terminated in
Yeah.
2017.
I was just trying to search. I just wrote it down for you. I'm just trying to search real quick since we're on the YouTube here.
I asked my attorney. I don't know if she watched me right now or not, but I asked her, and she doesn't answer me on this question.
I
That's
see.
why
Yeah,
I'm
it's
so
pretty
mad.
important. I mean, it's not a requirement for you to continue renewing, but of course, it would be beneficial. It could help you, of course. Let's see here. I'm
I,
just
I
looking.
entered I entered the United States when I was 19 too.
In which country were you born?
Jordan?
Jordan. Okay.
Yes.
Because I do see, of course, they have this parole. Humanitarian parole is for specific countries. So let me see if they mention something for Jordan.
Well, to be honest with you, I was under section 212 DF. That the parole for this country, it affected me. When I have the parole, it says 212 DF. It doesn't mention Jordan. I read it.
Yeah, there's no special one for that situation. I will have to take a look at my other my organization website,
Please,
AILA,
John.
American Immigration Lawyers. So I will check that out for you, Wissam. Okay.
Thank you so much, and I
Okay.
appreciate you really. And
Uh,
if any Biden, if he said that everyone allowed to adjust status here, they don't have to go back to the country. Please make a video and post it, John. Please, if you don't mind. Really, we appreciate your help.
yes. Anytime there's a reform update, I definitely will mention it. I think I talked about the Republican option or proposal last week. I'll
Yes.
talk about any option that they propose or any side propose. Some might not be as, I guess you can say, eye-catching for some of the politician, but I'll mention it anyway to show any progress for sure. And by the way, Wissam, go ahead and fill out the intake form so that our team has a way to contact you about the parole
Okay,
information.
sure, I will do that
So we
then.
know that your email or phone number, okay?
Absolutely. Thank
But
you
I know
so
you
much.
watch every time, so thank you very much.
Of course, yeah, you're very nice and you're very helpful and you help people. Like, really, God bless you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much, John.
Wissam.
Of
Well,
course.
appreciate it. Let me see if I can answer any more questions. You have a wonderful day in San Diego.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's hot.
Oh, yeah, okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so that was our friend Wissam in San Diego, and I'm in here in Houston, Texas, in this humid city. So in the meantime, if you do have a question that that we can help with, go ahead and join, okay? Because it might be easier to understand more context of your situation, your immigration problem that we can try to solve. Let's see here. If you're just joining in this, joining the broadcast, I mentioned earlier that we do offer free 15 minutes preliminary consultation for your first time. If you can call or text the number down below, and the other way is, of course, filling our intake form down below in the description box, and you have to provide them this code, Green Card Guys. I know it's not so secret, but it helps us understand which folks watch us on Facebook or YouTube, because a lot of people do ask for a free consultation, but it's a special offer just for you. So thank you very much. Okay, let me get to see some of these questions. I know I skipped some on accident here. Okay, answered Raul. Okay, Usman, you got documentarily qualified January 20th. Okay, great. But NVC not sending case to Islamabad embassy. When should I expect it? Okay, pre-pandemic, it usually took about 1 month, okay? But Usman, tell me what type of case. I see this. Okay, I skipped your question. Well, I'm back to your question. Let me know what type of case you have, okay? If it's, for example, immediate relative or preference category, which category, and also, if it's K1. They all have slightly different situation. But in general, what I recommend is email MVC, ask them what's going on, or, of course, in a nice way. What is this? What is the expected time period to receive the case number? I don't know if you received the case number yet. It sounds like you. Oh yeah, you did, because you got DQ'd. Okay, documentary qualified. So ask them, when should I expect that my case will be transferred to the consulate in Islam or embassy in Islamabad, so that you can make arrangements. Of course, you have to provide them your NVC case number, your name as a principal applicant, or and the petitioner, in both date of birth, and the priority date. So they want to know at least those information, and then they can respond to you. So hopefully that helps. And if you haven't had any success, if they gave you just a generic response, then fill out the intake form, okay, and let us know. Let us know what your current situation at the time you fill out the intake form. But hopefully that helps, okay, sir. Usman, I'm sorry, I don't know if that's. Let's see. Okay, Kofi. What do you do if you don't have evidence for extension? How can you avoid deportation? You don't have any criminal record. Okay, well, that's number one. I'm glad you haven't committed any crimes, haven't been arrested. A lot of people have crimes in general because of DWI, and because of the pandemic, most people haven't been driving. But if you do go to the bar, please order an Uber or some kind of, or Lyft, some kind of taxi service, okay? Okay, but if you don't have evidence for your extension, well, it really depends, right? We don't know what they would ask for, but since it's VAWA, they could ask for a police report, counseling report, any kind of evidence to show that there was some kind of abuse. We've had cases approved without a police report. We've had to think creatively. We always think outside the box to help people. And so if you do have an RFE COFI in the future, give us a call. Let us know, see if we can help you, because we always try to think of other ideas in terms of evidence. And in terms of deportation, yes, there was a policy and still is. I don't believe USCIS has changed anything about it, but there's a policy that says if a person is denied, they will refer your case from USCIS to the immigration court. And but at the same time, even though they have a policy, I'm not trying to create any kind of fear, but it has happened to some people, I've heard, and some people it did not happen when they've been denied. I've talked to other lawyers about this. Fortunately, we haven't had that concern, but you definitely want to be ready for it in case. But you really sounds like you're still too early for that kind of situation. Let's see here. Oh, Tuma, Arizona. Oh, okay, I'll try to remember that. I think the last time we visited was about a couple years ago. All right. Again, friends, if you like to join the broadcast, I've got less than 4 minutes before I have to get to a consultation. But let's see here. If you do have questions in the future, please go ahead and schedule a time with us. Our CARES team will take care of you. And here is the code again. All righty. Green card guys. Let me go to the comments. Trying to find a question here. Elena from New York City. I thought I remember that. Lovepreet. Okay, your application. You haven't applied for 485 with Vawa because you're in removal proceeding. You're not eligible for AOS with USCIS until I-360 is approved. Yes, that's correct. What we do is after I-360 is approved, then we provide that evidence to the court, EOIR, we file a motion to dismiss your case from the court. Of course, we also provide any kind of criminal clearance record to show you don't have any crimes. So that's something, or even if you do have some kind of arrest or crimes, we mention, we do, in our arguments on paper, we mention these crimes do not qualify for any kind of restriction, okay, a bar. And then at that point, we can file the 485. What we prefer to do, our team, is that we like to prepare the 485 and show that to the judge, the court, and also government lawyer to know that we're on top of it. Okay, that you are ready to file for adjustment. There's no reason to have it delayed through the court system because there's thousands of cases in the court. So I think I kind of understood your question, maybe the strategy. So that's the strategy that what we do. Lovepreet. Jax, what can you do to be ready for a DREAM Act if it passes the Senate? Again, I think it's still very early. I think it could happen at the earliest in this late summer, but it's really prepare your tax returns. Okay, I see your next comment. You think you qualify for it. You're here since 9 years old. So yeah, school records could help, but also tax returns if you're of working age and you've been working. If you don't have DACA right now, work permit, and you need some kind of identification number for your taxes, apply for the ITIN. It's on the IRS website. They have some instructions there. From what I read last week for another person that filled out the intake form, you have to mail in to an IRS office, I believe a local office to where you live in your state, your passport, okay? Because they want to see if you have, not that you have to have status right now, but that you have some kind of visa from the past, really to identify who you are. If the instructions change, please let me know. Yeah, that would be great, Elena. We'll have champagne ready. We'll celebrate when that happens. Okay, so I don't see any other questions for now, and I'm almost at the 30-minute mark. In the future, friends, we will have more special what's it called, live shows in our Facebook group. So let me see if I can share that here. if you join our Facebook group, it's here scrolling here. If you just click search on Facebook, Immigrant Guide and Support, or you could probably just type in Green Card Guys, this should show up. Because right now I'm only having this on Facebook page and YouTube only on Tuesdays and Fridays. So please go ahead and join the group. We're sharing more information there. Okay, friends, thank you so much for your time. And until next time, please continue wearing a mask. And watch the live show at 5:30 about the next steps after fiancé visa approval. All right, take care now.